What do we think about The Boys Season 2? Hey, what's up, Nerd Fam? This is your boy Gershawn, and I want to welcome you to Into the Nerd. So, if you love all types of shows, whether it's superhero shows, drama, scary stuff, and it's on Netflix, Hulu, or Amazon Prime, we're going to talk about all of that stuff. And today, we're going to be talking about The Boys Season 2. It just finished, it just wrapped up last Friday, and I wanted to give a very honest review of it. It's why I waited a couple of days. I was going to just do the review the Saturday after I watched it, but like, I had more and more thoughts as days went by, and I think I finally finalized what I really think about it. A lot of good, but I gotta be honest, there was some things that left me kind of scratch my head as to why it happened. So, without further ado, let's just get into it. Boys Season 2 did a lot of things right, and the same thing that Season 1 did right, really, in terms of providing a deconstruction of the superhero genre, showing like, hey, like, what if they were real, and, what if they weren't perfect and stuff like that. And, handling certain political topics like, far-right extremism, obviously like undercover white supremacy, how they handle like how corporations like to hijack representation. When it came to MAEVE, when she was forced to come out by Homelander, and they were like, oh, we're just gonna, they acting like they care when they really don't. Like, we're gonna make gay this and gay that, and against her will, pretty much. And even the whole girls do it better, and just forcing that down your throat, even though like the people who are participating are like, we get it, like, we're women, but like, we're powerful, we don't need you to, like, we don't need to be forced on everybody's throat, you know what I mean? Like that. And even when they were making fun of Avengers Endgame, and even Batman vs Superman Dawn of Justice, just those little things they did, like especially with the whole scene where the women just wound up all together out of nowhere, right? And they just made fun of that, and it was great. Like, just breaking the fourth wall. Like, I love that. I love that, right? What's really cool as well is that they provided like more depth for a lot of characters. Whether it's just the members of the boys like Frenchie, Huey, talking about Butcher's past. But my favorite when they really like fleshed out like was Homelander, when they've managed to make him not just like a evil Superman, but like, he's a psychopath. You know it. But they managed to make him look human and almost relatable when you saw him in scenes with his son. Like, you saw he was really trying to like connect with his son somehow. And it was weird because he never had to connect with people in general. Like, he doesn't know how to do that. And he also doesn't want his son to become that same type of person. You saw it and it was like, oh, this kind of genuine. He's still crazy, but this is genuine. I like that, right? Those are things that it does very, very well, right? Stormfront, and even in the season, they even had me think about the whole gender bending thing, which normally I don't like, or the race bending thing, but they made it work, because obviously if Stormfront was a guy like it was in the comics in this day and age, like, they would see him a mile away. Like, they see like a white dude. If you know how he was in the source material, they would have saw him a mile away, right? But obviously they're playing on the fact that sometimes when things are wrapped up in a little pretty package, you don't see what's happening, right? Like, they're smiling a lot using social media, being bubbly, and you're not seeing like the underlying message, which is something that happens a lot right now, right? Which that's really good. I like how they do that very, very well. Now, with that being said, there are some things they don't do very well, and I do want to talk about that, and that is being consistent with their messaging when it comes to certain things. And here's what I mean. So, first off, people just randomly appear places. I don't know. It's happened so many times. They're breaking out of places that they shouldn't be able to break out of. They're breaking in places they shouldn't be able to break into, and they just arrive, right? So, how did BECCA escape this compound? No one's supposed to be able to do that. She did it and magically found this dude in East Flatbush. And all he told her was he was in a pawn shop. So she was just knocking on the pawn shops. That's just odd, right? Also, when it came to MAEVE, she just appeared in that final fight scene. She can't fly. She didn't have super speed. How'd she even know where they were? And even though she found out where they were, how'd she get there so fast? The only reason why Homelander and Stormfront get there so fast is because they can fly. And I get it. Everyone just wanted to see that scene when they were just stomping out Stormfront. I get it. Cool. But how? How did she get there? Right? And just by the way, like, if you haven't read the source material, so kind of spoiler here, Stormfront isn't as powerful as she is in the show, in the books. In the books, she can literally get beat up. Well, he could get beat up by bats and stuff like that, like literally by regular people. She's clearly much more powerful because she's getting shot up by bullets and nothing hurts, right? Now, we watched her earlier in the season kill a whole family with her lightning. Like, because it's lightning. But then you see her hit the boys with the lightning. Instead of them frying, they go flying like a concussive force. I'm not really sure what that was about, right? Like, so either it kills people or it doesn't. It kills regular people, and they're regular people, right? Also, why wouldn't Butcher, when he was like descending from the heavens? Oh, first off, before that, how didn't he hear any of that? Like, we've already discussed that his hearing is really, really good. How didn't he hear any of that? He didn't hear any of the fighting. He didn't hear when she threw the car, when she blew up the stuff. Because remember, he disabled that sound thing rather quickly, but he didn't hear any of that stuff. Come on now. Like, you're being inconsistent just because you want certain things to happen in the story. Don't do that. And when he finally found them after she was incinerated by his son, why wouldn't he just fry Butcher? While he's sitting there talking, why wouldn't he just fry Butcher? And why would the son go to Butcher instead of Homelander when the Butcher was really about to pick up the crowbar and kill him? That's what he was going to do. And when it comes to the relationship, he has had a much better relationship with Homelander than Butcher thus far in the season. He's been like, that's a person who looked like he actually cares about him. He just met Butcher within the hour. Well, not just met, but like just really saw him. Like, really, maybe I might be wrong about him just meeting him at that point. They definitely didn't really know him like that. It's kind of nuts, right? Yeah, that didn't make much. That really didn't make much sense to me how that happened. I also think it was weird. Like, why would Vought let Starlight back in? I mean, they got her mom. They imprisoned her because she was leaking the information about Compound V. They know all that stuff. So I get why Homelander wouldn't say certain things about Maeve. But Vought doesn't have to adhere to any of that stuff because you've seen they're much more powerful. They're not scared of Homelander. Like, they're not. Like, they control, they act like those are the products. Like, Edgar was in his face. Like, look, you're not we can do whatever we want. So, like, it makes me wonder, right? Also, in the comics, in case you don't know, so this is spoiler alert, so turn it off if you don't know. If you've never read the comic, Black Noir is actually a clone of Homelander, right? Clearly, that's not what they're doing in this one. They've kind of replaced him with like Ryan, the son, right? Okay, but Black Noir, the way he acts in the show is because like his character is actually kind of it's out of his mind in the book. Because like the Homelander clone was made to kill Homelander if he does something crazy. But now that that's not it, it doesn't actually make sense for Black Noir to have acted the way he acted. So I'm very confused by that, right? But wait, back to consistency. I'm about to go to source material stuff. We don't have to go there. But back to consistency, right? We have the politician. She's the one that's blowing up everyone's heads. I have no problem with that reveal. My problem is they did the whole eye thing, like the whole Aurora Monroe thing. Well, she does it, so that's what she does. That's what happens when she's activating her powers. Were her eyes like that at all during the court scene when everyone's head was blowing up? No, that wasn't happening. So honestly, they could have just did the same thing without that, and it would have been consistent. Very weird, like very, very weird. And they take little choices like that. I also, in my opinion, storyline wise, I feel like Stormfront should have been a little bit more successful. Like, I don't think she should have killed her so early. I think maybe she should have been able to, make a couple more suits. And Stormfront, when Stormfront, in the comic, has a team, Payback, which is pretty much modeled off the Avengers. It has like Soldier Boy, Crimson Countess, Tech Knight, whatever. They're mentioned, but they're not there. And they're going to come in season 3, but it's weird because if she's not there, why are they coming? Why is that happening? And look, I know people saying you don't know if she did or not, but it's like, what's the point? Like, it's clear that they're trying to move past her in the story. Like, I'm confused as to where they're gonna go. So I think when it comes to how they ended this season, they didn't really stick the landing. I love the way it began, and I still love the show, but they didn't really stick the landing on this one. There was a lot of inconsistencies. I'm not really sure where they're going in the story, because it's like they're borrowing from source material, which I have no problem with them changing things from source material. But it's like the things that they kind of like changed doesn't look like it's gonna really line up, and that's just me. So I'm not trying to give too much away, but it doesn't really line up with what they have going. Like a lot of stuff that they're gonna reveal in the future, from what we've heard, what I've heard from the news, it's kind of been like half of it's kind of been killed off already here. So yeah, it's got me a little worried about where season 3 will end up. But I'm still gonna watch the show. I think it's still written pretty well. You know, even with the inconsistencies that make me, you know, scratch my head. But yeah, that's really all I have to say about that. You know, comment below. Let me know if you're like, oh my God, this whole thing was perfect. What are you talking about? Or yeah, you know, it's really good, but I was confused by some of those moments, right? But yeah, in the meantime, make sure you're still watching Amazon Prime, Hulu, Netflix, streaming, whatever. But please don't forget to enter the nerd.